Hey everyone, it's Daniel here from Infovest. Just wanted to go over a quick video here from Reuters, and I'll post the link in the description. The title basically says, "No experience, no resume, you're hired. Hotels fight for staff." And we're seeing this kind of phenomena where a lot of people, a lot of companies, and especially in the hospitality industry, airlines, hotels, restaurants, and I'm seeing it in my area. I'm not sure if you guys are also seeing the same thing, where there's a lot of shortages when it comes to labor and when it comes to staffing. So we're seeing that around in many places, and this article talks about especially top European hotel chains are having basically big issues with hiring workers. And what they're doing right now is they're basically going out and they're hiring anyone even with no job experience, nothing to do with the hospitality industry. They're just hiring them in because they're just short of employees, right? Short of staffs. And a lot of them are just going on a crazy hiring spree just because they expect that the month of July and August to be quite a big month for them, 2 months for them, especially if a lot of demand and inflow of people are going to come in, especially when it's the summer months and vacation months. So when you look at this article, and you can kind of relate that over the past 2 years with this COVID pandemic, there has been a huge restrictions towards traveling and spending time out, and now everyone's trying to get that kind of FOMO out of their system, where they're going out and utilizing the summer months and utilizing the lifting of the restrictions to go and enjoy vacation, especially in a time of high inflation, right? So when talking about inflation, when you see certain sectors, like for example the good sectors and certain goods and certain commodities, we're seeing kind of the prices starting to come off a bit, especially in certain commodities like oil and lumber a bit, and silver and gold not so much, platinum, palladium. So you're seeing these commodity prices come off a bit, and the inflation kind of move into now the service sector area as the summer months are here and as people are going and traveling more, right? Now, to add to that issue, to add to more of that fire of inflation and problems, is you also have a demand decrease with an increase of interest rates, which these central banks around the world are doing, which are basically causing people to maybe even dial down in terms of their vacation, their spending. Maybe for some, maybe not for others, right? But however, you're seeing that money allocate and shift towards more experiences versus goods. And that's why you might see the manufacturing sector or the goods sector, right, start to show kind of slowdown in growth and recessionary signals, while the service sector might seem that growth is continuing and prices continue to rise in the service sector, just because it being the summer months, you might see more demand inflow in those areas. Now, to couple that with staff shortage, right? You now have issues where airlines, certain hotels, restaurants can't meet to certain demand and to certain capacity that they might be seeing in these next in July and in August. So what does that mean, right? In the article, they mentioned that the hotels might be thinking about accommodating more for these employees, meaning that giving them a higher salary, right? If these big hotel chains start doing that, then guess what? Other smaller hotel chains will have to do the same thing, right? As well as other businesses like restaurants and other small businesses out there, they will have to also compete with the bigger ones who are increasing their wages and giving people more benefits. And some of the hotels even mentioned that accommodating some of these staff members to stay in the hotel as an added benefit, right? So they're trying to incentivize people to come to work because you're not seeing a lot of people applying to jobs. There is a shortages of staff and labor out there. You're seeing that not only in Europe but also in Canada and also in the United States. And it's this is all from an effect of the COVID pandemic, where a lot of people were dependent on the stimulus checks that they were getting. Some of them are still getting that today, right? You hear also California talking about giving out stimulus checks as well. And also landlords making a new rule where landlords have to pay first month's rent to the evicted tenants, right? So different ways to stimulate and continue to pump money towards people. So that might be one effect. Another effect might be that in the article they talked about students as well. Students who are in school and still studying during the weekdays they're busy, but on the weekends they can come and work, right? And a lot of the labor is now dependent on the younger generation, especially as when COVID hit, the older generation who were expected to retire maybe 2, 3, 4, 5, who knows, 6, 7 years from now, decided to have early retirement. So that also affected the jobs number and the employment issues that companies are now seeing. And with the new digital age that we're seeing today, with the easy access to go out and make a TikTok, go out and start a YouTube channel, right? Go out and do things online, start your own shop, right? A lot of them are probably either looking at other alternatives rather than going back to the same life or lifestyle which they had, which was commuting to work and coming back and spending long hours in traffic. And probably a lot of them say that it's not worth it unless maybe the pay is good, and or maybe if maybe one of their businesses or the TikTok ventures don't work, right? So that might also be part of accounts towards some of this shortages in labor, especially if you're dependent on these students, like they mentioned in the article. And I can see the same thing happening in a lot of businesses in the United States and in Canada as well, right? And on top of that, also there were some talks about a lot of people, a lot of millennials, a lot of people who were invested in crypto. A lot of them made a lot of money and decided to quit their jobs. So that's also putting fuel in part of that. And but you are starting to see some people coming back who have not sold their crypto. As we've seen, crypto has crashed, especially Bitcoin, from 69,000, 70,000 all the way down to about $17,000, $18,000 US, right? So you're starting to see those students or those younger generation come back to the workforce because of that. Now that's an effect in crypto, right? I'm curious to see if we get more of a pinch in the economy in terms of the stock market, in terms of the economy, right? So could it be that if we do get a very, very ugly recession, we do see a lot of the people who were sitting on the sidelines and don't want to work or too lazy to work come back into the workforce. And it might take that. It might take a break in the economy, a break in the finances of a lot of these younger generation and these younger individuals, a break in the finances for these millennials to realize that, okay, I do need to go and get a job, and that might cause a trigger effect, right? You might see that, okay, yes, a recession will increase the unemployment rate and you'll see a lot of job losses like you're seeing today. Meta came out over the weekend, talked about scaling down on their hiring. There's also news, I think there was a Bloomberg article that came out that was saying that a lot of people who got, and sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just interesting to see how employers are going back on their mistakes that they've done, right? Which is, I think, kind of silly that they're doing this. They should have realized this earlier. I don't know what they were thinking, but a lot of these employers basically going out and taking back their offers that they've given to certain people who applied to jobs, right? So think about it, right? You received a job offer, and all of a sudden your company comes back, the employer who decided to hire you comes back and say, hey, we got to take back your offer because we didn't calculate that this is going to happen. We see slower growth in the future or recession coming on. We couldn't calculate it in time. So pretty silly to see that. But yes, that is also happening as well. So with all of this, with slower growth and possibly also certain companies decreasing, sorry, the hiring, and also in some sectors looking to go on a hiring spree and increase their wages, that also tends to be a sticky inflation metric that could keep wages could continue to go up higher, which could keep inflation elevated for some time, right? Until after maybe September, where we're kind of traveling falls and you'll see a decline in the hospitality industry and the airlines, and you might see again layoffs that happen in airlines and hotels and etc., right? So it could be a temporary cycle that eventually you might see again the layoffs come in, especially if demand is expected to really slow down. So we're going to have to see. We have this week a lot of jobs number and data, ISM and non-farm payrolls coming out this week. So a lot of information we're going to get out this week. We're going to get the Federal Reserve minutes that are going to come out also this week, and get a kind of summary of the meetings through the minutes from the Fed. And on top of that, with the shortage of labor and other companies looking to increase the wages, and also companies, in the article they mention a hotel chain talking about that if there are certain services that they may not be able to offer because they just simply don't have the capacity, the staff capacity to do so, right? So another kind of risk that you could see coming down in the future is that a lot of these small businesses who can't fulfill the demand of some of these consumers because of these shortages might see those consumers look for those services elsewhere, and there might be high demand for those services, which might cause prices to move up and inflation to continue to be elevated, right? And if that happens, it might be a trickle effect where you see, these certain services or these certain sectors will see increase in these inflation, and the smaller businesses who can't offer it will see their sales, their revenue really drop, which will lead to a decrease in the hiring, and also layoffs to continue, which might be a trickle effect where even if interest rates continue, as interest rates continue to increase and demand starts to soften, a lot of these small businesses you might see be affected quite a great deal, and especially as they look for other services elsewhere to fulfill that demand, those businesses might very soon see themselves go out of business, right? So you might see a lot of businesses go out of businesses. Let me repeat that again. You might see a lot of businesses go out of business, right? And all because of this, decrease in demand, certain sectors, certain services being fulfilled by other bigger giants and bigger companies, unable to handle the cost in a small business. On top of that, increase wage competition and salary competition, as everybody in that industry is scrambling to hire people to fulfill that demand, followed by then maybe that plateau or that drop in traveling. And again, it's going to lead to a very bad situation for some of these small businesses, especially if they can't make up the cash amount or the revenue amount in that summer months. Then what are they going to do in times when traveling and leisure tends to dip down, right? So that's just in the hotel and hospitality industry. Imagine this with other services and other businesses out there, a lot of smaller businesses that can't also hold the cost pressures, especially hiring a lot of employees, which will lead to unable to fulfill the demand, which will lead to the consumers looking for, another company elsewhere, a bigger one, to deal with when it comes to fulfilling their needs, which will lead to probably a lower revenue for those small businesses, which will maybe lead to a bankruptcy situation where a lot of these businesses may go out of business. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below, subscribe, like this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.